Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of City Skylines. Anna says, what a great city. I would think I'm dreaming if I didn't know otherwise. That's the spirit, Anna. Guys, I wanted to thank you so much for the support. You have no idea how motivational this is and how encouraging. This gives me hope for a long-lasting and hopefully successful series on this channel. What are we gonna do in today's episode? Well, as usual, in every playthrough, my goal is to first unlock all the milestones so we have everything at our disposal. After that, we'll have to think about some rearrangements to fit our needs. What I would like to do is balance out the demands in the beginning, and we can see these guys are not quite upgrading yet. We need to educate more citizens, but also provide services for the industry. If we're going to expand our industry today, it's probably going to be the forestry industry, and I kind of thought about unlocking this tile so we can make a really nice interchange that is effectively going to be the heart of the city. We could actually think about making one here and one over there. This seems to be appropriate. Now, the problem about the base game, the vanilla game, is that we can only unlock a certain amount of tiles. So maybe eventually this is probably one of the first mods, if ever I'm gonna add mods, that I want to have. The ability to unlock more tiles and of course make a bigger city out of it. Maybe voice your opinion down in the comments about this topic if you consider this an absolute no-go. Looks as though we actually have access to the next level of education, the high school, and we are also running out of power again. I want to keep things as green as possible, so we're mostly going to make use of solar and wind power, but I also want to touch on every aspect of the game and the DLC, so some of the industry is not going to be clean. I want to make sure that the parks we're placing have their maximum potential, so we're going to set up a park maintenance building right here. Those little bastards are going to drive around, visit every park in the city and just boost their entertainment value. By the way, I also placed this Japanese garden where I wanted to have the bouncy castle in the previous episode. I also built a little pathway here. That was the one thing I could easily fit in this spot. Now for the high school, I probably want to connect these two roads right here. Want to make sure they have everything they need, such as water. Public library, definitely something I want to add, but this seems very expensive for what it is. So we're going to go for the high school, which has a high enough upkeep. As I said, we never want to go too crazy with our expenses in one go, so we can keep our financial situation under control. Alright then, we're gonna place our high school right against this road, and now we have a lot of space to actually make pathways and do the decoration. But for now, we're just gonna wait a little bit until more people are upgrading, and this should also have an effect on the industry. So instead of adding more industry blindly, that's the way we want to go. Yeah, it seems to have its effect. I'm hearing the upgrade sound every now and then. One thing I had to learn about the game is that even if you don't have green everywhere, the students are still gonna travel to that building. It's just not that convenient. We can have some sort of proof for this by looking at these numbers. High school students in the entire city is the same as the students currently enrolled, even though these houses are indicated not in reach. Don't go overboard with copies of buildings just because it's not exactly in the radius. I think I might try that for my shopping area and industry as well, just placing another plaza. I'm intrigued about this Paradox Plaza. This has a huge radius, look at that. But essentially I would like to have this right here. Yeah, also somewhat makes the industry happier. Yeah, looks like the people are definitely enjoying this place. And we can see shops upgrading in the background. Maybe now it's time to unlock the first tile here at the bottom, where I'm gonna have my first major interchange, but also most likely the forestry industry. Ah, well, you look at that. With only 1,600 people, we're making almost 2.5 grand. I just added a couple of things, namely the row of industry right here, just to support it. At the moment, I'm actually stuck upgrading because I need university educated people. I also added a walking pathway connecting those two districts together, so more people are actually willing to walk to work or go do the shopping. I also added my first trees and bushes. What a glorious moment. The next thing I actually would like to do is add a recycling center, so we can already start processing some of the garbage, and we are going down the green route. I'm actually going to add this on the opposite side of the garbage disposal. That should work just fine. Every now and then it's worth checking the power. For instance, we can get rid of this line, save a tiny bit on maintenance. As a matter of fact, we can just hook this up and get rid of this as well. And this we don't need either. Great, things are coming along. Once again, we have residential demand, which means we could finish this part right here. In the center right there, I would actually like to have our first custom park. People are gonna freaking love it. I'm gonna add a tiny division here where we can set up the entrance of the park. There might be a back entrance here. And we're gonna fill this up with some more housings here. Uh-oh, that's not good. Actually, we seem to have it under control. At the moment, we have some abandonment because there are not enough workers, but I'm pretty confident this is gonna change in a couple of minutes. Boomtown is 2,400 people. That's what I have to reach next in order to actually build highways. And wow, there are tons of things I want access to in this upgrade, but mostly the roads in order to make a proper interchange. I also increased the taxes to 12%. They are still not complaining. I believe 13 or 14% is where it gets critical, but 12% seems to be okay for most of these bastards. Well, it's time to speed things up a tiny bit. I'm gonna add some more housings. Maybe along this side wouldn't be the worst of ideas. Let me do this area. And I just don't understand how things like that can happen. Can I maybe fix that by rebuilding the road? I mean, right now the grid is proper, so let's re-add this road. And it's a crappy grid again. Oh well, I guess we just have to live with it. I'm gonna set up some decorations for this part. What's the plural of campus? Campi? Campuses? Yay! We finally reached it! Boomtown. Check this out. Oh, okay, that's gonna make things so much easier. Next milestone, 5,000 people. So I guess before that we're gonna actually build that interchange and potentially add a forestry area. Technically, I would like the highway to go approximately here, with the interchange being here. Then we're gonna have a straight road going up, maybe taking a curve up there, having another interchange. This way we can go into all four directions, and we must beware to maybe reserve some space for the trains. Checking out my roads, we now have at least enough to get things going. That means we can now go ahead and demolish the interchange that was already there for us. And I'm gonna delete it all the way up to the edge of my building space. I would like to make this as straight as possible. Maybe we can start by upgrading these roads already. They seem to be perfect to use as a guideline. So I'm gonna continue this road slightly and hook it up with this one. Can I go straight here? No, that's a problem, but we can always take another road, just do the straight edge, then upgrade it to a highway, and we have the straight edge. We're gonna start right here with an overpass, so the guys traveling from east to west are gonna have to drive upwards a little bit, and going down here again. Good, let's hook this up. This is not perfectly straight, is it? No, it is. Right here on the edges, we're just gonna do things temporarily until we have unlocked more tiles and can actually do something with the area. This highway right here can actually go all the way down to the coast, and then we probably just end up building a roundabout system, or we could just let people hop on and off at certain points. And then eventually the highway is also gonna continue in this direction, of course. Cool, that leaves me plenty of space to come up with a nice interchange, but I will have to think about this. I think I'm gonna actually save at this point. If I waste too much money just trying to build something, I could go back to this point. But yeah, you saw, highways are quite expensive. Okay, I have a slight idea on how I want to do this interchange. People can go, let's just take this road here as an example. They can go straight or to the right, joining this lane, or they will take a turn all the way over here to this lane. And then we kind of have to achieve that for all of the directions. Maybe let's try to achieve the same thing on this side. Now, it looks as though I will have to fix this slightly. Sometimes it doesn't quite add up with the snap points you get. Well, let's bring this over here and do the same thing right there. And now we should have the same snap points. I wanted to start right here, going all the way up to this point, one up. Same thing on the other side, going up right here. However, this side will have to swap directions. Yeah, I mean, what can go wrong? As of this point, we could go with a highway ramp. Since we have two lanes right here splitting off into two directions, this is perfect. Let's see how smoothly we can even do this. I also have to take a lot of guidance points here since we are playing in vanilla and I don't have as many tools to actually shape my roads. Looks like I'm gonna need a minute in order to make this right. I really need a system that I can perfectly and symmetrically replicate. Maybe it is the wiser choice just to stay on the ground right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect this with a normal road so I can be as straight as possible and then upgrade this. This way we have some nice and symmetrical angles that I can actually live with. Now, no, we don't. I see, this is gonna be a freaking pain in vanilla. At this point, I'm actually gonna tear apart some stuff here again and just build the heart without connecting it to the roads. This way I will have a more symmetrical pattern of my snap points. The heart of the interchange is gonna be 4 tiles wide, so that's how I'm gonna measure that. This way we also know where the perfect center is. Gonna make a tiny road as a guideline, so this is gonna be my center, and now I just need to evenly distribute 2 lanes. For instance, like this. Hopefully this is gonna work out just fine. Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. I can get rid of this, and now I have my perfect alignment points. Alright, we are back, and this should be a very well-functioning interchange. Let me quickly explain you my thinking behind it. Coming from this side, we have the choice of going into 3 directions, so 3 lanes for this is actually perfect. 1 lane is going straight, and this also happens in vanilla. If you set this up correctly, the arrows are mostly gonna point into the direction you would want them. There are certain issues such as this one here. I doubt this is actually gonna use the right lane here, so you probably can't get it perfect without Traffic Manager. But anyways, right here we can see we only have 1 lane because only cars from this lane are gonna go straight. The 2 other cars are gonna choose these 2 lanes on the right side. Then we come to this junction where we are gonna split these lanes off again, and you can see once again the arrows are correct and there's gonna be no traffic jam whatsoever. Now as soon as we merge 2 single lanes again, we of course want to continue with a 2-lane street, and right here 3 lanes are merging, so we have 3 lanes again. This should be the case for all directions, so we can either go right here, move over there, or we can go to the right, or of course we can go straight. It doesn't quite look as phenomenal as I wanted, but I suspect we'll be able to achieve a lot with decorations. Maybe let's let the game run for a little bit and just see how the traffic flows for now. Ah, okay, they actually do take the left lane here. Let's see if that is always the case. No, this one went straight, so there is potential for traffic jam right there, if we can't use Traffic Manager. Right here, for instance, it's still a problem. You can see this tractor just chose the left lane, even though I want him to use the middle lane. Still, once we reach denser traffic, this lane management should definitely help us out. Very well. As a last deed for today's episode, I think we're gonna start setting up the forestry industry. I would like it to be on this side of the highway. Considering this is quite remote, maybe setting this up to eventually have a cargo station wouldn't be the worst of ideas. I don't have access to trains quite yet, but we can still keep that in mind whilst setting up our layout here. Alright, let's try to set this up. I want to take a curve right here. Now the right side of the highway is gonna connect back up. What I would like to do is just keep going here for a little bit and then take a curve back into the highway. For now, we're not gonna go anywhere else. This is just gonna be the forestry industry. Let me actually go one further, and then we're gonna take the turn. We want to continue on for a couple of tiles, and maybe right here we're gonna take another curve back. Actually, thinking about this, we might not even need this part of the road because the trucks and everyone that wants to visit the industry is gonna hop off this highway, and then they're gonna hop on right here again. Yeah, there we go. I can actually see this working. Now we need to set up some industry roads. So let's see what we have in that department. Not much yet, to be honest. I think 4-lane roads, one way would be perfect, but if I remember correctly, the game doesn't really have that. So we might have to go with 6-lane roads, and they definitely need to be one way. Man, these are huge roads. This is so not necessary. 4 lanes would be perfect, actually, or 3 lanes even. But I guess we want to be better safe than sorry, so this is how we're gonna set up our roads right here. Some of these roads we might have to adjust eventually, or I just leave a little bit of space free here for my administration and maintenance buildings. But as we know, the forestry industry comes with tons of buildings. Let's actually go ahead and paint our first industry area right here. There we go, not bad. Can we rename this please into forestry industry? Let's maybe first try to hook up the individual roads. I'm probably gonna be tempted to do something like this. Now, does this make sense? I mean, right now it's pointing into the wrong direction, but I guess technically we don't need to do lane mathematics here. We could just turn this into a 2-lane or 3-lane highway. Yeah, actually, why the heck not? Let's just try to do it like that for now. There we go, beautiful. And then on the other side, we're gonna hop off. Now, in this case, actually, it might be worth to do some lane management. So instead of having 3 lanes, we're just gonna have 2. Great, I like it. It looks very organized. We still have the space for a cargo terminal and a lot of other stuff. We can expand, all good. One more thing we have to consider in our road layout is the accessibility for services. In our case, I think it might be enough to just loop this back around. So maybe we can take a off-ramp and we can somewhat connect it with this highway. Let me actually just try that. So we're gonna do the lane mathematics and road management later on when we have more stuff going on here. For now, let's go ahead and actually place the Forestry main building. This building is fairly large and probably doesn't have to be in the densest forest. So maybe let's switch back to normal roads here. And we want to go out here just a bit. And I just see there are going to be traffic lights all over the place. So we might have to remove them. I think vanilla also provides a way to do that. But first things first, let's place that down. Sweet, we now have access to the sawmill, small log yard and small tree plantation. A lot of the stuff we produce in the forestry area, we want to store and process within the industry as well. So we'll really have to think about this solution. Right now, this isn't the most intuitive one, but at least it's gonna work out somewhat. Alright, well, let's see this happen. I'm gonna set up another junction there with the sawmill. Yeah, you can actually go into this side road, that's fine. And then last but not least, we're gonna need a whole bunch of fields. So let's go ahead and place those. Alright, nice, looking good. Let's provide some stuff for them. They probably need water. There we go, water is hooked up very nicely. Let's do the power as well. Great, finally we can unpause the game again. I'm actually pretty happy. Build extractor, don't tell me this is a building you're suggesting that I don't even have. What the heck? Well, now I guess we need to wait for a couple of workers to arrive, so this might be the time to expand the city a little bit more. But I think for now we're actually going to wrap this up for today. I'm just gonna let the game run for a tiny bit in order to figure out what I'm still missing, such as some water for this building. One thing we ought to do is maybe set up the fire station and police station already. I'm gonna do a fire station here. I wanna observe this first. How they deal with taking the entire loop for every fire. Also, people have been complaining about not having a cemetery. I mean, geez, complain a lot. What if we added this booger right here, actually? This might be a beautiful place. I kind of like that. We should still have enough we still have enough space for a custom park. Maybe not a themed park, you know? And look at that, we are upgrading like crazy again. Alright guys, I think with that out of the way, we're gonna wrap it up for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, have a great time, and see you soon. Bye bye.